Unapologetic Manifestation. Because what I've noticed in my life, and I've noticed in many of our lives and many of our interactions around prosperity, around abundance, around money, let's just call it around money, is that we feel unworthy. We feel unworthy at a core level of receiving and taking in all that we need. And here's the thing I've learned in the 10 plus years I've been teaching it, in the 30 years I've been studying it as a Unity Truth student, is that you don't get what you negotiate. You don't get to keep what you negotiate. What you get in life is what you feel worthy of. What you get and you get to retain in your life is what you believe you deserve. And many of us have inherited, absorbed, incorporated this false notion that if we take what we need, if we take what is ours, what is our desire, what is ours to claim, that we are taking it away from someone else. And that our good comes at someone else's cost. I have to win. I have to hoard. And that's where our hoarder complexes come from. We have to make sure we have enough for that rainy day. And it's that belief, that intrinsic misunderstanding of our nature that causes scarcity in our lives. It causes us to squander what good, or push away what good shows up at our doorstep. But in this process, I've noticed something. The tree, there's a redwood that surrounds my house. And all around us are examples of this beauty. The tree doesn't apologize for taking all the sunlight it needs to grow. The tree does not apologize for being in the ground, for absorbing the rainwater that seeps through it, for taking the nutrients from the dead and the decaying leaves from last year. It takes all of that in and grows to its magnificent height, its magnificent spread, its magnificence, and never apologizes for it. So why can't we be like the tree? Why can't we grow into all that we're here to be? To fly, to soar, to shine, to be everything our heart tells us we're supposed to be doing. And not apologize for taking what is our birthright. You know, the tree, when the tree shines, takes the leaves, take in the sunlight, it doesn't deny it from anyone else. Have you noticed there's more than enough sunshine to go around for every tree on the planet and still have more left over? The sun is shining and that radiating light is going out in all directions. It's not only hitting Earth, but it's hitting Venus and Mars and Pluto and Neptune, and all the planets all have their fair share. Isn't that the same with your good and your good and your good and your good? God, the infinite, the source of it all, can give you all that you need and have tons left over. So why do we shrink from these moments? Why do we shrink? Let's learn what the tree teaches us. Never apologize for reaching. It claims its sunlight without guilt. It draws deeply from the earth's nutrients, and it grows at its own pace. It rests in the winter when it needs to, and it grows again in the spring when it's time to grow. And we, as human beings, lament, oh, it does not going fast enough. Oh, it's going too fast, right? Oh, spring is over for me. I'm in the twilight of my life. We have all these excuses for why we can't shine. But I have to tell you, the old trees around my house, these trees that are beautiful, beyond compare have been there longer than I've been on the planet. And you don't hear them just say, oh, this is the end. They say, look at how beautiful I have grown to. Look at the beauty that my twisted and battered bark has created. And then the tree blesses everything in the world through its very existence. It provides oxygen for all of us to breathe. It provides shelter for animals and plants and insects underneath it, for birds, and it provides shelter for us as the tree is turned into woods. This building, this magnificent building we're sitting in, I've had the pleasure of being up in the attic above this beautiful wooden ceiling. I've been below it, crawling in the underspace. I've seen the walls stripped down to the studs. You know what they all are? Beautiful redwood trees, ancient, old growth redwood trees. We are sitting in the shelter of a magnificent tree. Many trees, which have grown for millennia and have continued to share their energy and their source and their vibrancy with us here today. We are blessed by them. And that's what we can be too. You know, everything that has happened to you in your life, everyone who has come and gone from your life, the ancestors that preceded us, have all enriched the soil in which we take root. There's an old saying that says, you should bloom where you're planted. Well, when you're planted and your roots reach deep into the soil, when your roots reach deep and know the truth that they are taking nutrients that have been given by those who came before us, the dead and the decaying trees from before have enriched the soil. The very nature of earthworms and microbes and decay and nutrients all exist in the soil. So everything that's happened to you, everything, the things you call good, the things you call bad, or things you want to forget about, those relationships that you call, tragic, right, have created a rich, rich tapestry that you get to grow from, that you get to understand and nurture right now in your life. The Buddha says, you yourself, as much as anyone in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. So can you know that you are worthy? Can you know that you are that magnificent tree in whatever stage of life you are, taking in all of life and love where you are? Love the point, the moment of your life, and to say, this is my riches. This is the bounty and the abundance, the prosperity which with I can draw from. There is no limit to the amount of sunlight I can receive. And my taking the sun does not. My taking my good does not take it away from anyone else. Right? Your abundance, your light does not diminish anyone else's. Abundance is not something we acquire. It is something we tune into, Dr. Wayne Dwyer said. Right? We tune in to the source, to the infinite supply of good in your life. Everything changes. You know, I know it's a great slogan. It's a great platitude because we all have bills, right? We all have obligations. We all have unexpected things happen, right? I had to go to the dentist this week, got the bill that's gonna come once I finally have the work done, right? We all have rents to pay or mortgages to pay and car notes to pay and kids to put through school and things we want to purchase in our lives. And sometimes we can get myopic and think, where is it all going to come from? Right? And we get so closed. I know because it happens to me. Right? And even when you think you get yourself in alignment and we understand these teachings and we understand prosperity. Absolutely, I wrote the book on it. Well, I manage the money here and I help my husband, he's here somewhere, manage the money at our house and our kids' money. And all of it sometimes can feel overwhelming. I'm not saying it doesn't. What I'm saying is that is a false belief in limitation and lack. And that when I can step back, when I can take a breath and know that, yes, the bank balance says this, but I know the bank balance isn't the only source of my good, right? The true source of my good in the unity teachings and in my deepest conviction is spirit, is God, the universe. And in this analogy of the trees, the sun is part of the source of my good. And channels may constrict, and channels may close off, and new channels may open up, but the source of my good is God itself. And when I kind of align to that, I can shift my thinking and think, okay, my income isn't dependent on one job. My income is from spirit. And my affirmation that I wrote with the prayer chaplains yesterday is that I receive riches when I share my true self. I am prosperous. I receive abundant riches when I share my true and whole self. I am prosperous. Can we know that together? I receive riches when I share my whole self. I am prosperous. Say it. I am prosperous. One more time. I am prosperous. We are sitting in a magnificent multi-million-dollar building filled with technology that is the envy of many, many churches, filled with talent that surpasses anything that any other church has. We sit around these 100-year-old windows that were made by artisans in the last century and recrafted for us in the 21st century. We sit in the most magnificent city on the West Coast. I'll give some other cities are pretty too, but for California and for the West Coast, I think San Francisco rocks, right? Gorgeous, gorgeous. Just drive. As someone reminded me yesterday, I drive from Marin County through these beautiful hills and mountains on my way, looking at the bay, cross the Golden Gate Bridge, and drive through Pacific Heights to get to work every day. I am prosperous beyond measure, right? That is the beauty that we get to take in at every moment. But we put these blinders on and say, oh, well, you know, my car's 4 or 5 years old. It's got 100,000 miles on it. I'm feeling the lack. I'm feeling the lack of that. I drive a 4-year-old car with 90,000 miles on it, and it gets me here every day, and I am blessed to have it, right? It's not what I choose to spend my money on. One of the great lessons that I learned is, oh my God, saying I can't afford it is an awful affirmation. It is. It's an awful affirmation. I can't afford it. No, what someone taught me years ago is to reframe it as, I choose not to spend my money on that, right? I choose not to spend my money on that. I'm choosing to spend it on food. I'm choosing to spend it on shelter, right? We have a big mortgage up in Marin. We choose to spend our money on shelter, right? That is a choice, and it takes you away from being the victim of life and the circumstances and your pocketbook and your bank account into an agent with agency. A participant with vibrant agency on what you want to invest in. I want to invest in this. I want to invest in sustainable things. I want to invest in a win-win for the planet. So my growth, my shining, my light blesses you as well. Just like the tree gives freely of everything it creates, the oxygen, the leaves, it lets go of the leaves when it's time to let go of the leaves. It doesn't hold on to them. I may need this dead leaf one day, right? And how many of us have drawers at home filled with things that we have not touched in years, right? Holding on to them for the day we might actually need them. Well, like a lesson from the tree, can we be like the tree? And when it is time to let go, trusting that new life will come along. New life will appear. But many of us hold back, thinking we have to be good enough first. We believe the false teaching of our many, many world's faiths that teach us that we're miserable sinners. And we have to prove that we're good enough to God, to our parents, to some unimaginable outside they, that we're good enough to receive good. I am good enough to receive millions of dollars. I am good enough to receive wealth. I am good enough to deserve a job that lights me up. I am good enough to have a partner that adores me. Yes, I am. I love you too, sweetie. I am good enough just as I am. I am not born in sin. I am born as an original blessing on the planet. I am the beloved. I said it to you earlier. You are the beloved, and your playing small does not serve the world. We also have this embedded fear that if we say, yes, I want to make $1 million, yes, if I want to be a rich person, that we're being greedy. And again, it's that belief that if we get what we need to thrive, to prosper, to grow, that somehow someone else is going to go without. When the absolute opposite is true. There is more than enough money. There is tons of more than enough of material supply. And when we take it and with the consciousness that we are going to share it, that there is not a lack, that we can share it just as freely as we get it, we are then blessing the planet with our gifts. And then we always have this one. They'll think I'm too big for my britches. They'll think I'm being arrogant. They'll think I'm all full of myself. He's so full of himself, he thinks he's entitled to all this. Well, yes. I am entitled to happiness, to joy. You are entitled to prosperous living. You are entitled to love. You are entitled to abundance. You are entitled to everything that your heart longs for. The only question is if you're going to say yes to it. Are you going to say yes to it? Are you going to say yes to I receive my good without guilt? Yes, I receive the abundance of the universe with pleasure, and I give as easily as I receive, right? And yes, I give as easily as I receive. But many of us have guilt about receiving, right? We have guilt about, I didn't do anything to deserve this. How is this happening to me? And we give it away. We squander it. I know that in the throes of my addiction, when I was at my bottom, what they call in 12-step, your bottom, that I would receive money and I would squander it so quickly because I had this deep sense of guilt about who I was at the moment. But that wasn't my true identity. That was a false belief, an error thought that I needed to release, to let go of. I needed to release the belief that I was somehow, that was my identity, an addict. Somehow that the belief that I was flawed and not good enough, which drove me to the addiction in the first place, then became the identity in this twisted moment. And it has taken years to unpack that at a new level. Today, I can stand here with you and see you wholly and completely and know that you are a magnificent expression of God of life's longing for itself. And you are here on the planet to give of your wisdom, to give of your talents, to give of your time and treasure, so that we can create the heaven on earth right now that is needed. Heaven is not a destination in the sky. Hell is not a place below us we go when we die. Heaven and hell exist in here, in our consciousness right here and now. And so what are we going to claim? What are we going to manifest in today's life? Our deepest fear, as Marianne told us, is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Who are you to shrink in the face of what's happening in the world and what's happening in your life? You are a magnificent expression of the divine, and your playing small does not serve the world. What we need to do is align ourselves with our highest purpose. We are here for a specific reason. Mark Twain said, there are two great days in your life: the day you were born and the day you find out why. Right? The day you were born and the day you find out why. When you can align with your higher purpose, what you're really here to be, as an agent of love, of wisdom, of truth, of knowledge, of passion, then you can prosper and grow. You can prosper into the truth of who you are. Unapologetic manifestation isn't about selfishness. It's about alignment with your higher purpose and living life so that you are free to give from the abundance that you know is everyone's birthright. There is no lack. There is only lack thinking. There's only scarcity consciousness. I love this. Paulo Coelho wrote, when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. Right? That's the key. Is where do you look for the people who and the things and the opportunities that are conspiring with you, rather than the things that say no? Not everyone will resonate with you. And you cannot help everyone, but you can be that tree. Your growth, your fulfillment, your empowerment changes the world. When you grow to your full splendor, you provide protection for others. You provide a great example. Mel Robbins, in her new book, Let Them, talks about this, right? It's like when you shine, when you let yourself shine and achieve, you are setting the example for other people to follow, right? You are providing the shade from the winds, from the rain that people need to go, oh, this is the path forward. So let yourself be successful. Let yourself talk about your success, share your success, and share it generously. Give it away as easily as it came to you. You provide oxygen for everyone. By your success, by your living your life to the fullest, by you being sober, by you starting a business, by you helping with your job, by you volunteering and helping with people who need that helping hand up. You're providing the oxygen that makes the world go round. You're also providing beauty and inspiration, because my God, you're a beautiful community. Look at yourselves.
Oh, yes.
Are you beautiful?
Yes.
Oh, come on. Are you beautiful? Yes. You are stunning. Your being here is just miraculous. And that creates joy. Joy is contagious. Have you ever noticed how laughter is contagious, even if you don't know what we're laughing about? We had so much fun this weekend with the prayer chaplains. We were laughing about ourselves as the greatest follies that we are. That understanding that joy creates more joy, success creates more success. We are then planting seeds. We are Johnny Appleseed going through the earth, providing what's possible in every moment. That is the great joy of being like the tree. As I said earlier, your playing small doesn't serve the world. Your giving, your shining, your growth, your example serves the world.